This is the Pal Talk News Network.
The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 12 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. No retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households, 4 million on Pal Talk, 12 million on CRN. I may have misspoke myself because there was actually some food stuck to my shirt. I must have been walking around the office all day today with part of my lunch hanging from my shirt, and nobody said a thing. I just pulled my pen to make notes for the show, and I saw stuck to my shirt was food. I mean, I cannot believe my coworkers didn't bring it to my attention. Just amazing. Oh, I want to remind you, everybody, to go to paltalknewsnetwork.com. Go there early and often for the latest news, including our lead story right now, which is a developing story. The headline is, Gordon Brown follows Gary Baumgarten's advice. Okay, that's not quite what the headline says, but you recall that yesterday I told Gordon Brown, listen, Mr. Prime Minister, go see the Queen, man up, and just concede, give it up, and let David Cameron take over as Prime Minister. From my voice from my mouth to Gordon Brown's ear, he did exactly that. David Cameron is the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. You all know that there is a new immigration law about to take effect in Arizona. And boy, oh boy, I got to tell you, people either love this law or they hate this law. I have not heard anyone express ambivalence about the law in Arizona, which would empower, or which will empower, the local cops to investigate people to see if they are legally in the United States of America, generally considered just the purview of federal agents. Now, under Arizona state law, it will be the responsibility as well as for the local police to do, local county and state police. Of course, there are all those folks, myself included, who are a little bit concerned that there will be abuses, and people who are Hispanic or Hispanic looking, who are in this country legally, may be stopped and detained by the police. I mean, how do you determine while you're driving down the streets of Scottsdale as a police officer whether this Mexican looking individual, for example, on the side of the road, just by looking at him, whether he is here legally or illegally? So you're going to end up stopping people who are here legally and questioning them. And I don't know whether I feel too comfortable with that, although everybody tells me that's not the intent of the law. People aren't going to get stopped by the cops, just because they have brown skin. I'm not so sure. I'm going to ask our guest today what he thinks about it, because he is an immigration attorney. His name is Scott Cooper. He represents both individuals and corporations, and he is with a law firm in Michigan. Scott, if you don't mind, could you give us the name of your law firm? And welcome to News Talk Online on the Pal Talk News Network.
Hi, Gary. Our firm name is Fragaman, Delray, Bernson, and Lowy. There's a mouthful for you.
You know, what is it with law firms? How come they can't just be Jones and Smith or something like that? Why do they always have to be names that you can't remember, you know? Listen, all you guys have to remember, his name is Scott Cooper, and he's in suburban Detroit.
Yeah, we're branded
right?
Fragaman. That's enough. One Fragaman will do it.
That's more than
Thanks a
enough.
lot
Although
for
I'm sure
having me on the show.
I'm sure Mr. or Ms. Fragaman is a nice person, but I mean Baumgarten is enough of a mouthful. So
A good law firm name for sure.
yeah, for sure. So Scott, will this law have a net positive effect or a net negative effect on the state of Arizona?
Well, it's going to cost that state, and it's already costing Arizona financially, unfortunately, because, I mean, there was a 2006 estimate put together by the Yuma County Sheriff that really added up the costs that law enforcement agencies would have, jail costs, attorney and staff fees, detention facilities. It was literally millions and millions of dollars. I mean, the jail costs were estimated somewhere around $97 million. Law enforcement agency costs about $1.2 million. Millions of dollars in costs, and that's just in the enforcement side of it. The economic impact on Arizona would also be significant. They're already seeing organizations that are withdrawing their conferences and meetings from Arizona, and I think that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg here. I mean, if their own pro basketball team wants to call itself Los Suns, I think that's another indication of the fact this is a very unpopular measure. We have to assume that the police are going to do, that law enforcement are going to do their best to try to be even-handed in administering this law. But we're not talking about just, lawfully resident aliens who might be picked up, but, this could involve plenty of U.S. citizens as well, which would be very unfortunate.
I agree that it would be unfortunate. That's what has me concerned. But isn't this law really a response to the just porous borders and the inability of the federal government to protect them, and the lawlessness that unfortunately sometimes visits Arizona and other states as a result of the illegal immigration? And is it not just because the federal government has been unable to control this that states like Arizona are thinking about taking matters into their own hands?
Oh, well, sure, absolutely. The failure of our immigration system, and it is basically, the lawful immigration provisions haven't been modified. I mean, they were modified somewhat in 1990, but basically they're as they were crafted in 1953. And we really need to tune our legal immigration system, which is broken, to meet the needs of families, employers, and our nation, in the 21st century. It's an outdated system which we've tinkered with over the years, but really haven't fundamentally fixed. The issues of crime, the studies that are out there really show that immigrants don't have, in fact, they have a lower crime rate than native residents of the United States. And, for example, in Arizona specifically, violent crimes in Arizona fell in 2005 from